I've lived in the same house for nearly 23 years. I've lived here since I was born, and it's where I'm spending the lockdown with my family. Being here for so long, I've accumulated a lot of stuff here. Rubbish, clutter really. The odd trinkets and knickknacks that are the consequences of growing up and, ostensibly, becoming an adult person. Given that I suddenly have the time, I decided to clear out an old wooden toy box that had been taking up valuable space on the upstairs landing. In this box, I found 1. A comic drawn when I must have still been in primary school, 2. Several dancing trophies. Turns out I won something called the Ugly Bug Ball when I was 5. 3. A drawing of my favourite teddy bear, Toffee, that I'd made back in nursery school. 4. All of my old GCSE work. 5. Multiple low-resolution pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock that I'd printed at home and framed, clearly from a darker patch of my teenage history. Naturally, being the sentimental person, or perhaps hoarder that I am, I didn't throw anything away, apart from the pictures of Sherlock that I'd printed, because the evidence of that was very quickly destroyed. Instead, I brought these things out of hiding, and they're sitting around my childhood bedroom, waiting to be put away again somewhere safe. So, as I record this right now, I'm sat in the most familiar space in the world to me, surrounded by just about everything I've ever known, and I find myself completely alienated. I'm stuck at this weird kind of crossroads between my past, my present, and my future. I don't know where I'll be in a month, 3 weeks, maybe even 2 weeks, depending on what's announced tonight. I have my own seemingly entirely different life in a different city, and I don't know when I'm going to go back to that. I'm aware that I'm incredibly lucky, don't get me wrong. I'm healthy and I'm able to do a job that I love from home, a home that's comfortable and familiar, but there's no denying that the mixture of that familiarity and complete uncertainty has left me feeling that I'm living in some kind of limbo. I feel like I'm groundless. I don't have any direction. To be made so suddenly and violently aware that you're living through history is a really strange sensation. And I'm sure that I don't only speak for myself when I confess that I feel a need to harness this time that I've been given, to document that feeling, to create some kind of evidence that I was here, living and alive and with a voice amidst all of this chaos. I want to have some kind of proof to look back on, to make me think, that's what I did. That's how I spent that time. A journal of things that I did every day, a book of poetry, a play maybe, a novel, a new skill. I quite honestly feel like the rug is constantly being pulled out from underneath me, and yet I still want to force myself into being productive. But I don't know how. More often than not, I'm too emotionally exhausted to create anything more involved than my own lunch, so it's not really a great recipe for inspiration. But then I remember that for years, on my upstairs landing, there sat a box with 22 years worth of artefacts of my own personal history. Just by living here, by existing in this very space, I accumulated evidence of how I spent my childhood. I danced, and I drew silly pictures, and I worked hard at school, and I clearly got way too into TV shows. Toffee's a little worse for wear than he was on the day that I first drew his portrait in 2001, but he's still around. And it's not just the things that I can hold in my hands either. This place reminds me of everything. The little gap between the sofa and the fireplace was the favourite napping spot of my dog, Flossie, when she was just a baby. She's 14 now, still going strong, a little slower, a lot bigger, and she no longer fits in that gap. But I remember when she did. And I look at these things and the memories that child me left me with, and it's comforting. She didn't make those things because she felt a debt to an older version of her, or a pressure to leave some kind of personal history behind, to prove that she was there in all of her geeky glory. She simply existed in this space, in her own way, doing the things she wanted to do, and she let everything else be incidental to that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll ride out the storm here, and I'll be gentle with myself. I'll let myself feel frightened and sad, at times excited, perhaps creative, but only if I'm up to it. I'll do goofy things on Zoom. I'll make Tiger King memes. I'll play Animal Crossing. I'm just going to let myself exist in whichever way makes me most comfortable in this space at this time. So I'll let the proof of that existence be incidental. And if all that this time has to offer me is more time spent in the house that I grew up in, a new set of memories, a sense of duty to be kinder to myself, and a greater appreciation for the people and places that I love, then I think that will be enough.